Hello and welcome. So this is not going to be the video I had planned for today, but this is the video that wanted to happen. So in this video, I'm going to talk all about taking your power back, and we'll see where it goes. It might be a little bit free flowing, but this is the subject that really needed to come through. And it was highlighted by my experience this morning, and I feel like what has been going on this week in general. So, so this morning, I'm going to share a story. This morning, I woke up and I was in a really good mood, and I felt great, and I did all my practices, did some meditation. I was feeling really hopeful, really optimistic, excited to do this video. That is not this video, a different video. And then I got a message, and the message doesn't really matter what it was about, but I went from this really great, like sort of high vibe place, feeling really good, feeling like really optimistic and hopeful, to suddenly just like rage, just like that. Like it was so quick, right? So I went through it, right? I really went to the place of like, this is not fair, right? This is really the place I went into. I went into a real kind of victim place. And I knew it as it was happening. I was like, right, I'm going to go there because that's what my nervous system has gone into fight mode. I was angry. I was like, this isn't okay. This isn't fair. Duh, right? I was angry. So I kind of want to talk through this process a little bit of like some tools and things to help you move through it and what it means to take our power back. Because what often can happen is like people start their day feeling really good, and then something happens that they didn't really like, right? Something can happen. Stuff happens all the time that we don't like, right? And what can happen is that we end up staying there and we become disempowered by the thing that was out of our control, and then it ruins our day, and then we just stay in that place. And it just felt like important to share the process that I went through to be able to do this video now and feeling like good again. And it's not about bypassing, but just kind of talking about what that process looked like if it's helpful. And also why it's so important. I talk about taking back our power all the time, and this is a real life example of that. So let's go back to the story. So I felt all the feelings. That was the first thing I did. I went straight into like, this isn't fair. Why is this happening? Da, da, da. And I shouted, like, you know, I vocalized and I was on my own. I gave myself the space. I took myself away. I gave myself the space to feel the somatic feeling, right? The anger rise up my body. For me, anger moves through, it rises up. And I was kind of like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to allow myself to do it rather than be like logic my way out of it, right? The feeling just wanted to be felt. So I went there and I screamed even, like I was like, rah, like, you know, like I let it out. I let it out and I moved my body. I shook it out. I did all of that. And then I was kind of like, all right, I have felt the feelings, and now I'm going to listen to some music that feels connected to the feeling that I am trying to feel, right? So I kind of felt angry, but I also felt a little bit sad. I felt disappointed. I felt a lot of things. So I was listening to music that kind of reflected that. So I could, again, like really just allow myself to go into the feeling and feel it. And I find music's a really helpful way to allow us to go into the feeling. Depending on what feeling is you're trying to feel. This is also true for joy and true for, you know, excitement and fun and that kind of thing. So I did that. And then I was like, okay, right, I've done that, feeling better. I've moved my body. This is a really big part, is moving the body, you know? This is what we talk about when we say somatic movement. It's like, soma means body. So feelings want to be expressed physically as well as mentally, right? It's not a mental thing. Your nervous system is a physical expression, or it wants to be expressed physically. Anyway, and then I was like, okay, now I have felt the feelings. I've allowed myself to go there. I've not shamed myself for going there, because, you know, you could easily, in our culture, we kind of do kind of like, let me start that again. I think in our culture, we're very like, no, like you have to suppress it and it's not okay to feel that and it's embarrassing or whatever it might be. But I was like, no, I'm going to go there. I'm a human being having a human experience, even if I know better and I know it's ultimately fine because everything is ultimately fine. I'm also having a very real feeling. I'm having a very real reaction. And the suppressing of it is what keeps it trapped in the body. So it's like going there and not feeling shame around it has been really, really important. So I did that, but then I was like, okay, but now I don't actually want this to carry on through my day, because I actually do want to have a great day and I do want to feel good because I've allowed myself to go there. But this is where the taking your power back really comes in, because I think what can happen is sometimes we can allow ourselves to go into the feeling, but then we stay there and then we become disempowered by it. It's like there's a difference between feeling your feelings and then indulging the feeling and allowing it to sort of like swallow you up, you know? It's like a kind of fine line here. So what I then decided to do is like, right, I don't actually want to carry this on. I want to have a good day. I've got lots of stuff planned that I want to do, and it could easily stop me from doing that, right? So then I went into a technique called EFT, emotional freedom technique. Now, I'm not an expert in this, so I can't teach it. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's not my zone of genius, right? But I have an app that I use that has EFT stuff on there. And one of them was like how to like come back from a bad day, basically. So I did EFT tapping, and basically the process is like you tap various different points on your body. Again, I'm not going to teach this properly, but I'll just very quickly like run through what the process is. It's like 5 minutes long. You tap on various different points. You tap here, you tap here, you tap here, 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 on your collarbones, here, and here. And as you're doing that, you're speaking in your like sort of new what you're trying, like the energy you're now trying to bring in. So it was very like, yes, I've had a bad moment, yes, this has been difficult, and I don't want to move this through to my day. And it was all guided for me. I didn't have to think of this on my own. And if you are interested in that, I am not at all sponsored by them. It's just someone that I really, really like their work. I found tapping to be such an amazing tool that I don't think a lot of people really talk about, to be honest. So I kind of just wanted to mention it because I just find it so helpful. It's not a plug. So the person's app that I have used is a lady called Gala Darling. She's just fabulous. And she's part of, I think it's called like Vortex Vision. So I think if you type in your app like Vortex Vision, her app comes up, and she's got a few sort of tapping exercises you can do. Now, obviously, there's probably loads of people that do this, but that's the one I use just again for a resource for you. And honestly, like as soon as I went through that whole process of feeling my feelings, listening to the music, moving my body, and then doing the tapping to kind of get myself out of the funk, here I am, and I feel great. And it was like all lasted for, I don't know, maybe half an hour instead of all day and maybe even tomorrow, which it easily could have done. So I just wanted to share that because that is what it means. It's an example of taking our power back. Because the reality is, like, things are going to happen that we don't want to happen. It's like it wasn't in our plan, right? And it's like, how do we navigate this stuff? What's our method? Do we become victimized by it? And I say that with love. I really do, because we all, like, I let myself go there like I did today. I really felt the victim story. Like, this is not fair. Why is this happening? I did all of that with awareness that I was doing it. And then it's like, and now I want to move through this. Now I want to go to the next part. Like, so it's a both and thing. And I just wanted to kind of talk about it because sometimes we say like, yeah, take back your power. And I'm like, yeah, but what does that mean? What does that look like in practice? What's the process? How do you actually move through it? What do you have to do? And what does it mean in terms of like, yeah, what does it mean? And I think what it means to me is not staying in the victim story. Going there, yes. Staying there, no. That's really the thing. And not allowing that thing to happen that is completely A, outside of my control, and B, already happened and nothing I can do about. So it's like, what's the point in like staying in that, right? So taking my power back is me taking responsibility for my own feelings, and something that I can do is all the things we just talked about. That's something I can't stop that from happening, but I can do this. And I just hope that this helps somebody, because I think, again, in this community, we can sort of talk about things in quite a vague way, and sometimes it's not very clear, like, what you need, what that looks like sometimes. So I hope that helped. And I think also this week there's going to be a lot of people feeling a lot of feelings. I don't want to like really talk about it, because politics is something I don't like to talk about on my channel. It's just not what I want to do. I keep quite separate from that. But there is a real sort of collective feeling at the moment of rage, of upset and disempowerment, and I get it. But I think what we have to keep in mind is that ultimately we are sovereign beings, and we do have more power than we think, and that something outside of us isn't the source of our power. And that's why I think this message really needs to come out today. So I was going to do a collective card reading. I might just see what the cards have to say, actually, in terms of collective energies, because that was the original message I was going to do. It's obviously what you normally see. Yeah, I love that. Interesting. I'll get one more card, please. Ooh, I like this. Yeah, okay, so here we've got Four of Wands, completion. Yeah, again, this feels like quite a powerful card. It's like just not losing sight of your own power within all of this, you know? Like, because I don't think everyone's going to be affected in the same way. But like I say, I do feel this very collective uncertainty, collective grieving and pain. And I think it's important to honour that and recognise where our own sovereignty and power comes in. We've also got here the Hanged Man. It's about surrender, surrendering to what is happening. Because actually, we do have more power than we think. Yeah. Oh, love that. Okay, let me know if that was helpful. I know I went a little off script. But I think now is really an important time to remember this, and to actually have the tools and the practices to do this, not just to simply know I need to be powerful. Like, what does that mean? How do we do this? Like, this is what I want to start sharing more of, like actual tools and practices. So let me know if you enjoyed that and if that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching that. I hope you're having a lovely week and taking good care of yourself. And I'll see you all on the next one. Mwah.